to Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and today we're here with a different kind of video. Yes, it looks like we're setting up a gym in my sewing room, but we're not. But it's going to be an informational or informative video just about our health as quilters. Now, before we get into this, right, I'm calling this one the tennis elbow. Right, the tennis elbow one. Before we get into this, the shout out is Quilter's Architect. I don't know their first name, so if you guys do know their first name, put that in the comments below. Her YouTube channel is going to be in our show notes, so if you go over there, you like what you see, you know, tell her Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you. Give her some words of encouragement too. And like I say, if on our channel as well, if you're a viewer, you know, make comments, share, like, subscribe, hit the bell, thumbs up. That helps our analytics as well. And that we can move forward and continue bringing people fun free patterns and information sessions like this. Also, Mini Monday is coming back with some changes. It's going to be blocks that are smaller than 12.5-inch blocks that we do on Free Pattern Friday. And those are going to be either foundation paper piecing, English paper piecing, or small piecing, and it's a really good way to do a lot of skill building very quickly in there. Twinkle Twinkle is going to be our next sew along after Quilt Bingo, which is on Wednesdays, and the only clue you're getting is save your strings. So save your strings is very important to save your strings. Now strings are, you know, wider than 3/4 or thumb width, and up to like 2-inch, right? Like, I mean, and they're not necessarily straight, and it's all the leftover bits and bobs you have from, you know, cutting out blocks from fat quarters and yardage and all that crazy stuff. So this is really important to have those strings. Now, if you don't have strings and you don't like doing strings, you can also cut the pieces out of just your fabric. So that works as well. Now, the Zoom sew dates are the first Saturday of every month. And it's from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, because I'm in Alberta, Canada. We have so much fun on those sew dates. And if you've got the date on your calendar, but you don't have anything to sew, and you want to bring your crochet, bring it. It's fine. It's a great place to come hang out and chat with other people that are creative, right? We also have a Facebook group, so if you're part of the Facebook community, please come join. We're warm and welcoming. We have several community chats. We also share pictures and ask questions and all the rest of the stuff. We do fabric exchanges by country, and we have a virtual sewing room hosted by Discord. A lot of the members that are using the Discord room are actually becoming friends because they're sewing all the time. So it's lots of fun. It's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I speak for free. And I have 2 presentations. By the end of December of 2025, I'm going to have 2 presentations. So if your group or guild needs a speaker, you know, come look me up. My email address is under the About tab, or you can get a hold of me during on the Facebook group. I'd be happy to come and do a speaking engagement for your guild or group. Also, shout outs, guys, shout outs. If you see somebody over having fun and just doing their thing and having a great time, let me know. Give me their first name and their channel, and I'll try and look for them and find them and give them a shout out, because it's really important to help out other quilters in our YouTube community. Okay, so I think that's it. Yes, that's it. Let's get into this tennis elbow. Well, okay, the story starts in mid-June. I started having some pain here in this elbow, and that pain was like right there. It was like, oh. It was waking me up at night, you know, because I would, you know, frail around with my arms at night sleeping, and it was just like, every time I moved this arm, it was like, oh man. So, you know, there's only so much pain you can tolerate, and then after a while, it's like, okay, I gotta go to the doctor because this is not getting any better, and I don't understand where I'm getting this pain from. I was in the doctor's office 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, and he starts touching around, and he's like, oh yeah, you have tennis elbow. And I was like, seriously? So he gave me some pills for pain. He gave me a cream for my arm to rub in, because what he wanted to, the other pills he wanted to do for inflammation, I couldn't take because I have allergies, right? So he had to give me some cream, and he gave me some physiotherapy. And I started going to a physiotherapist like the next day. We got in immediately because this pain was ridiculous. It was like, oh my God. And between everything that happened, I'm going to tell you this. If you are in pain, go see your doctor. I suffered like a month and a half with pain that I didn't have to. Now, tennis elbow is not from playing tennis. I mean, tennis elbow comes from people playing tennis because it's repetitive stress, right? That you get it from. Well, the repetitive stress when you're sewing is this motion, guiding your fabric through the sewing machine under the foot. And you get, I know it's such a small movement, but you get tennis elbow because you're moving that muscle right there all the time. And if you're piecing, you know, say you're doing a big project and you're piecing, this, you know, there's small muscles in here and you're not building any strength in them by doing this. You're just overworking them, right? So it can become very painful very quickly. Now, the physiotherapist said, if depending on how well you're resting your arm, whether you're doing your exercises or not, it could take months to get back. So having grandchildren over the summer was kind of a godsend because when my grandkids are around, I don't sew. So having them about was a blessing because I was entertaining grandkids and not sewing. So I would wear my little wrist brace, right? Because part of that movement, then you're not doing this, you know, this movement all the time, right? By sewing. So part of the treatment was keeping your wrists immobile. So, and applying heat, of course, and, you know, taking putting your lotions on and everything else. The physiotherapist did give me some other tools and whatnot to work with. So this was a wrist brace. This was my husband's, since we just grabbed it and it fit. So I was like, yay, I don't have to spend money on a wrist brace that I might not use again. But I do find if my arm is starting to sew, because I'm healed up now, right? Like I'm amazed how quickly I healed up by doing my exercises, doing everything the professionals told me to do. I healed up pretty quickly. But occasionally I have a little twinge. So this guy here, this wrist brace is very handy. Now you can get other wrist brace. This is just a Velcro one and it has a little netting. Oh, I can't even pull it apart. It has a little netting and everything else, right? So that you can, you know, tighten it around your wrist correctly and just like that. It's a quick tighten. I can't sleep with it, but if I'm not sewing, I sometimes after a day of sewing, I wear it, right? Just to protect and stop moving this. Now, when you're scrolling on your phone, you're also moving that wrist, right? So playing games, looking at Facebook on your phone, or all this other stuff, you know, the experts say that we climb Mount Everest every week with our thumb. You know, so that's all repetitive stress. So let's talk about the stuff that I had. I had kicking around the house. I had a wrist brace. I had a heating pad. Whoops, the heating pad. This is one that you just throw in a microwave and then you would just place, I can just see I'm going to lose all this stuff. Then you just place it on your arm and you put a blanket over you and you kind of cuddles in. It's nice. Heat helps reduce, it promotes healing. Cold reduces swelling. I didn't have any swelling, but so the heat was really nice. That was a really nice touch. Now, I had 2-pound weights, and I'm going to show you, she did give me some exercises with this. A can of soup is like a 1-pound weight, if that's all you have. A 2-pound weight would be the larger can. You know, so you have that kind of stuff at home if this ever hits, right? Also, a dryer ball with the little pokey ends on it, so you can massage your elbow, you know, at the end of the day or whatever. Like she said, this is people love this one. You know, once they get into that, just rubbing it around and massaging it. This is a really good one to help with, you know, pain. In any joint, actually. This one is really nice. Because I had lost my grip in my hand. Like I just, you know, all of a sudden I couldn't pick up anything because it was hurting so much. So she gave me a lacrosse ball. Now, like this is a hard ball. This is not a squeezy ball, not like a stress ball. And just to hold it like this with your wrist straight and grip. You know, hold the grip for, let's say, 10 seconds. You know, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, you know, that kind of thing. And do that like 6 to 10 times, you know, when you're doing a break on your arm, just to increase your grip, just help your grip get along, move along a little better. I also bought, I don't know what I was thinking when I bought this band. Now this band is supposed to go around your leg, and this is the latest one. And you're supposed to be able to put tension on it and hold it. Well, weeks ago, I couldn't do this exercise come love nor money because it just wasn't working. And now, you know, it's probably the thing that's too late for me. Also, this is something she was saying that was so important. If you're doing patch, you know, like sewing patches or, you know, putting piecing together or free motion quilting, don't be hard on yourself when you hear the story. I would sit for hours and do this, right? Like free motion quilting, I could sit for hours and hours and hours and do this and not move, and all of a sudden try and get up and I have no legs because they're numb, right? This is not a good thing for a person to do. Or do patchwork. Well, I've only got like 300 more to do. You know, that kind of mentality, no. You have to stop. And one of the things that was suggested is that I set my phone on an alarm, like the alarm, and you just do a countdown of 30 minutes or 40 minutes or whatever, and then do some simple stretches, right, to get your body back into, you know, like back into like, oh wow, I'm able to walk now and all the rest of stuff. Keep yourself moving around your sewing room instead of just sitting for hours doing what we do, or in other words, cutting for hours. Whether you're using an AccuQuilt cutter that you're cranking or your rotary cutter, if you're doing that for hours at a time, that you are risking getting this repetitive stress, right? So, you know, you got to go talk to your doctor if you're having any pain in any of your joints, right? So, the first exercises, the first exercise that we had, oh yes, we had the weights. This was a luxury that we bought. I decided I'm worth it. I'm going to buy a little TENS machine. This was really nice to put the TENS machine on, and it contracted and relaxed my muscles in my arm, and it wasn't painful. It wasn't anything. And then put heat while I was doing that with heat. It was so nice. This was a luxury, but it was really, really nice. Now, the first exercise, of course, is your wrist extension. This way, and you put your wrist down and you just press. And you've got to have this right angle thing between your shoulders and your arm. And you just press down very gently and you hold it. Now, you just hold it for 20 to 30 seconds. And that's enough to stretch out all of the little muscles in here and prevent, you know, like any other problems, right? You can also stretch it this way for 20 seconds. You know, making sure this is at a right angle, this area here, and just gently pulling back on the middle fingers, the middle 3 fingers, not to get anything crazy. Also, you could do other full body stretches if you're going to stop and do an alarm. You know, do other stretches like stretching up and stretching to the side, moving your legs, getting your legs up and down, just keeping the blood flowing, right? The other one was doing the, you know, she also said if you want to keep strength in this hand, because I'm dominantly right-handed, and she did a grip thing where my right hand, yeah, like I have really good grip on my right, but I had nothing in my left. So she said, in order to keep this one from having issues, because now you're going to start favoring your dominant hand, right, not your left hand, but my right hand, you know, do these exercises on both arms, right? You know, just to keep yourself, you know, just to keep everything good, right? Now, also the wrist ABCs. Now, I used to do this with my ankles a lot when I was waiting. You know, draw out the ABCs with your hands, right? You know, like A, B, C, you know, that kind of thing. And you would do it with both hands, right? So you kind of get your wrists moving gently and not have this constant that you were doing with your piecing, right? Those are kind of interesting things too. And you could do those with your feet and ankles as well. because that's what I would do. Very simple, very quick. You know, people don't really notice that you're, you know, ABCing with your feet while you're in a waiting room. They don't. They just, you know, they think you're dancing around with your foot. The squeeze ball, of course, we showed you that. That was most helpful. And the ABCs once a day. You do 5 to 6 reps, and you squeeze for 5 seconds. That did improve my grip quite a bit because I was doing my exercises. And I did this about a couple times a day. Let's see. The wrist extension with the dumbbell. Now, this one, you're going to hold your arm here and go up, up, up. And like they say, like do like 7 or 8 of those. And then the other one, just a minute. It goes, wait a minute, this is going to take off on me. It goes down like that. Like 7 or 8 of those going down. And you can just use a soup can for a 1 pound weight or a large can for a 2 pound weight. I was able to do it with a 2 pound weight right away. So those you do 7 or 8 reps, and you do them, like I was doing them twice a day. And you, again, do them on both arms, right? The wall exercises, you would have straight arms and you would rock back and forth. You know, putting some weight, you know, you'd make these arms, this arm and elbow, you know, hold some weight. And you could also do it like a wall push-up, or you could do it from a flat surface. That was really important to have that rocking motion, because now you're not only just putting some weight on that elbow, you're also moving the rest of your body, right? You know, kind of getting that going too. Now, another one she showed me was taking a 2 pound weight and rotating it from the base. And you would go over as far as you could and then go over as far as you can. You don't want pain in this one, right? And you would do that like 3 or 4 times a day. You know, like 5 to 8 reps, you know, 2 or 3 times a day. And that would also help build muscles in your forearm in here, right? So, and arm curls up, so you would do them palm up like this. Right? And you do as many of those as you can, but you're doing them now on both, right? You know, and then you do palm up and then you do thumb up, right? Which puts muscle in motion on another, because there's so many little muscles in your forearm, you got to exercise them all. And I think that was about it. But guys, what I really want to tell you here, if you have pain, go see your doctor. Because any kind of pain, like joint pain like that, it could be early arthritis, it could be something else that has gone wrong. But if you have like a pain, yeah, go see your doctor. Go before you start any exercise thing that you're going to do, you know, talk to your doctor about it, right? Because this is really important. He'll probably say, yeah, that's a good idea. And then, you know, he doesn't want you to train for a marathon. He wants to know what kind of exercises you're going to be doing, right? So, yeah, this is how one stays healthy so we can continue our art, right? So this is all this is information, and I'm hoping you enjoy this and got something from this. There's lots of things you can do. You don't need a fancy TENS machine. You've got it, probably a heating pad or something that you can make into a heating pad. A dryer ball, you know, they're fast, cheap, easy, you know, like soup cans, anything like this will help. When you're doing this one, she suggested if you don't have a barbell, to use a hammer, because, you know, holding the hammer down, you have the head of the hammer and the shaft of the hammer, and that would give you torque, the torque exercises. Also doing arm curls, you put a bag with books, and you can do it that way as well. But instead of, if you don't have the money for these, you can do that as well. We lift heavy bags of fabric all the time, but we don't want to hurt ourselves doing it. So anyways, I hope that is helpful for you. You know, this is kind of just a reference thing. Again, if you have pain, go see your doctor. It's, I'm just telling you what I was able to do to help me heal up on my journey on this tennis elbow. And yes, my arm is so much better now. I'm very grateful for the doctor that I had and the physiotherapist. I was just like, wow, she was awesome. She was just fabulous. So, I hope you stay well and all your joints and everything stay well too until we see each other again, and I hope your life is just grand. Okay, you guys take care and stay well. Bye! My husband and I would like to thank you for all of your support and watching our videos and sharing and liking. It has just been, you've put us on such an amazing journey and we are having so much fun. I hope everything is going so well in your life and you know your 1/4 inch is perfect, everything is working out for you. And we're just so happy to be part of your life and you having, like I say, you're watching us. I was just so thrilled that you're doing that. So I want to say goodbye and I want to thank you with all my heart. Okay? Take care. Bye.